Well, okay. Shalom, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Real quick. I was having a discussion with a family member that just left, right? And we was talking about this right here. Okay, as you can see here, is smoked sausage made with beef, right? And then right here it says smoked beef flavor. Okay, so on the packaging in the front, it says beef all over it, right? So I asked them, I said, well, even though it says beef on the packaging, did you check the ingredients to this thing? Is it made with 100% beef, right? They said they wasn't sure because they haven't really checked the ingredients to it. They just basically looked at the front of the package here and seen that it says it's beef and it's smoked beef flavor and made with beef. They thought that it's 100% beef, right? But just like I've always said in a majority of my dietary videos, sometimes you have to check. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to say sometimes. All of the time, you have to check these ingredients, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what these things have in them. You don't know what it's harvesting, right? It could be all sorts of biblically unclean ingredients and stuff like this. Although it says smoke beef flavor on the front. And then right here, it says made with beef. But you have to check these ingredients, man, especially if you're trying to keep the biblical dietary law of the Most High, right? So we're going to take a look at this, right? On the side, of course, it tells you, how you can prepare it. You can grill it, throw your onions on there, your red bell peppers, yellow bell peppers, whatever, right? On the other side, it basically says the same thing, right? Smoked beef flavor, made with beef, right? But when you look into the ingredients of this right here, okay, in which I make a very, very huge deal of, right? If you're trying to stay undefiled by keeping the biblical dietary law, right? You must check these ingredients, man. As you can see here, all right, you have modified food starch, which is a negative, right? You got cane sugar, supposedly cane sugar in here, but we're taking for face value. It says it have cane sugar. Oh, well, it probably does, right? And then when you go further into it, it says sodium phosphate. All right, that's bad for you. As we all should know, sodium itself is bad for you, right? It's not a salt. Okay, it's not a part of the original salt element. Sodium is derived from fat. All right, more than likely animals' fat. Okay, so and then phosphate is actually what they use to clean things, man, right? They put that in household cleaning products. And also, when it snows, they use phosphate, right? Which is supposedly salt, but it's sodium phosphate that they put on the ground, to help melt the snow and the ice in the wintertime. All right. So sodium phosphate is actually pretty bad for you. And the next ingredient is even worse, right? Right here, you have monosodium glutamate, man, right? That's one of the worst seasonings ever. I wouldn't advise anyone to consume monosodium glutamate. If you want high blood pressure, boom, there it is, monosodium glutamate. If you want to have a stroke, boom, monosodium glutamate, right? If you want all sorts of physical elements going on with your body, man, anything that's negative, right, that's going to send you to the hospital. It's going to give you a minor stroke, going to give you headaches, migraines, body aches, body inflammation, man, right? Monosodium glutamate is terrible for you, man. Okay, although it makes food taste good, right? But monosodium glutamate is terrible to consume. Okay, but here's the kicker. This is the main reason why I'm doing this video, right? As it says right here, made in pork casing. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the reason why you have to check these ingredients, brothers and sisters, right? If you're trying to keep yourself undefiled and biblically clean by keeping the biblical dietary law, okay, you got to check these ingredients, man. Although you may have a craving for things like this, okay, if you're not a vegan, of course. But I'm not a vegan anyway, too. So, I mean, it's all good, right? And as I've always said, the children of Israel aren't supposed to be vegans. You know what I'm saying? But if you choose to be a vegan, for the rest of the year, that's after the biblical high holy days, then so be it. Do you? It's your life, right? If you feel better with being a vegan, if you feel that your health is going to improve or whatever, or you're trying to lose weight, in which I think that's a fallacy. Just because you become a vegan doesn't mean that that's automatically going to make you lose weight. You just have to just eat in moderation, eat good, no matter if you're eating strictly vegetables or meat, right? But you may have a craving for things like this, you know what I'm saying? Because as it says right here, you can throw it on the grill or whatever. You can throw your bell peppers on there, your onions, what have you, right? And all other things that you desire to throw on there. But you got to check the ingredients to these things, brothers and sisters, right? So this is the point that I was trying to make, to the family member that, if you're trying to keep this biblical law, and, unfortunately they're not, you know what I'm saying? They don't really follow the biblical standards as we should as a nation of people. But this is the point that I was making to them that, you see this pork right here. So even though it says made with beef on the front, but the casing that they put this sausage in, or smorgasbord, whatever you want to call it, really, that's what it really is. It's covered in pork. Okay. And then it's seasoned with monosodium glutamate and sodium phosphate. All right. And it also modified food starch. Okay. Which is basically a GMO or a bioengineered food ingredient. All right. So basically the only good things in this is the beef, the water, the actual original element of salt. Okay. And then you have vinegar. All right. And then I guess you could say the sweet onion too. That's like the only good things that's in this right here. But of course, you have the sodium phosphate, the monosodium glutamate, okay, the modified food starch. That's going to overtake the whole product, man. Okay. And eventually you're going to become very sick if you continue to eat stuff like this right here. Right. You're going to develop high blood pressure, high cholesterol, hypertension. Okay. You might have a stroke, if you're prolonged eating this type of stuff right here. And it's going to make your health overall deteriorate, man. So you have to be careful with the kind of food you eat. A lot of people may shun this off and, blame other things, like, oh, it's the fast food or it's fried foods or stuff like that. But truth be told, even fried foods itself, it's not bad for you. It's the ingredients that you use to make your fried foods. Okay. Just like I've always said, I was having this discussion with somebody about that. I was saying, how bad truly is fried foods? If you really think about it, like the dogma that's going around in society today is all fried foods is bad, right? But think about it. If we both are frying chicken, right? And the only ingredients that I use is olive oil, natural salt, right, with the iodine in it, and garlic powder, and probably onion powder, right? If I'm just using those 3 ingredients and I'm frying my chicken in olive oil, how is that bad for you? Like literally, how is that bad for you? And olive oil is very good for you, okay? And it's not a hydrogenated oil, right? It's a natural oil and it's good for you. It has a lot of good health benefits for you. All right. So if I'm frying my chicken in olive oil, which is very good for the body, and then I'm also using garlic powder. Garlic is good for you. onion powder, which is good for you, okay, and salt, with the iodine, which is good for your thyroid and your hormones, okay? So if I'm using just those three ingredients and you're frying chicken, but you use monosodium glutamate, which is bad for your blood pressure, bad for your cholesterol. You're using black pepper, which is bad for your blood pressure, give you hypertension, give you chances of stroke, okay? And then you're using all of these other seasonings that's seasoned with monosodium glutamate, all sorts of cheap salts that doesn't have the iodine in it, right? And then you're frying your chicken in a hydrogenated oil, like vegetable oil or canola oil, okay, or safflower oil or peanut oil, okay, or grapeseed oil, all right? If you're frying your chicken in that with all of those bad seasonings, that's bad for you, okay, with the black pepper, right? And that's another dogma that's going around. A lot of people are saying that it's black pepper that's the one that's good for you, but the salt is bad for you. Now, riddle me this. If the salt is a natural element of the earth, how in the hell is salt bad for you? Okay, even according to the biblical scripture, the Most High says the children of Israel are the salt of the earth, right? We bring flavor to the earth, man, right? But if the food ain't seasoned with salt, how can it have flavor? Okay, if the salt is trampled on ground, how will the earth have flavor without the salt, right? The children of Israel is the salt of the earth, man. We bring the flavor to the earth, man. So how in the hell can you follow a dogma or stigma, right, or doctrine that says salt is bad for you? Okay, now don't get me wrong. Everything that's done excessively can be bad for you, right? Even salt. But compared to black pepper and monosodium glutamate and sodium phosphate, of course, salt is better, right? Olive oil or frying your foods in olive oil compared to frying it in vegetable oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil, grapeseed oil, peanut oil, right? In which all of these fast food restaurants use when they're cooking their foods. Of course, olive oil is better. Not only for frying, but also for putting in salads or whatever, or your steamed potatoes with onions or something like that, whatever you choose to use, right? So compared to all of those things, okay, if you're frying your chicken with just those three ingredients, which is salt, garlic powder, onion powder, or if you choose to put some turmeric in there too, that's even better. Okay, that's good for body inflammation and your blood pressure and your hypertension, right? How in the hell is that fried chicken bad for you if you're cooking it in those ingredients? So that's the point that I wanted to make, man, right? But anyway, this is a quick impromptu video that I wanted to do because of the discussion I had concerning these sausages, right? So you got to be careful when you eating these things right here, man. So you just can't push it off on other things and say, oh, well, it's the fried foods, or, maybe it's some of that fast food that I had, a couple of days prior. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff like this right here that you purchase and make in your own home, man. All right. And it's because of this right here, the monosodium glutamate, the sodium phosphate, and the pork casein, man, right? That's the Most High bringing the judgment upon you because you're eating biblically unclean, right? According to the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, and the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, and Numbers 10, you're not supposed to be consuming swine, man. And also the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, right? So I just wanted to do this little quick impromptu video. All right. So I believe my point is made. Hopefully that this video was edifying. Hopefully that it was enjoyable. Brothers and sisters, shalom.